Hey guys, hola amigos. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's Chef Hamel here, and today we are going to be making homemade tamales. Tamales are a traditional Mexican dish made with a corn dough or corn flour that is spread really thinly inside of a corn husk that has been rehydrated. And then it has some sort of filling, and it is wrapped up and steamed in a pot, and they are absolutely delicious. So tamales date back to about 7,000 BC. They are a really old and ancient dish that dates back to the Aztecs and Mayans in Mexico or Central America. And it is a dish often eaten at Christmas time or for special occasions. And they can either be wrapped with corn husks, which is usually traditional, or sometimes, depending on what country is making them, they use banana leaves. And this is a way that they can kind of be easily transported, which is really great. And they're also really great to freeze too. So today I'm going to be making a bunch, and obviously I'm just by myself. So some of them I'm going to keep in my fridge, and then some of them I'm going to freeze to eat at a later time. So I really wanted to make tamales because this is one of the dishes that I would have made with my students during the fourth quarter in our international unit. So I thought, what better day to make tamales than on Cinco de Mayo? So first step we are going to do is make the corn dough or the masa dough. So I'm just going to move these aside. And the first ingredient is our masa or our corn flour. So this is just very finely ground corn pretty much into a flour. So this is the brand or the bag that I am using. It is gluten-free because it is made with corn. And I am going to be using some baking powder along with some avocado oil. Traditionally, tamales are made with lard, but I'm trying to go a little bit of a healthier route. So this is not really traditional, but again, I'm trying to be a little health conscious. And I have some chicken stock here. So we are going to add our baking powder into our masa. I am using 2.5 cups of my masa, and I used a half a teaspoon of baking powder. And I'm just going to make sure that is all combined. Now my chicken stock is salted. I'm actually using Better Than Bouillon that I mixed into some warm water. But I'm going to add a tiny pinch of salt just to make sure that it is salty enough. There we go. Alrighty. Now I'm going to add in my wet ingredients. So I have my oil, and I have my chicken stock. So I'm using 3/4 a cup of avocado oil, and I am using 1 3/4 cups of chicken stock. I'm going to add a little bit at a time so it comes together. You're looking for a really light dough. So I might not even need all of this chicken stock because the recipe I'm using I found offline. I'm really just kind of looking for the right texture. Yeah, it still needs a little more. Mix this up. Oh, this smells so good. It smells just like corn. Super excited to make this for you guys. You can tell I'm very festive today. I put up some decorations and I have my little taco headbands on. My students know that I'm a very festive person, so gotta dress up even if it's just me and the cat at home. Feels pretty good. I might add a little bit more chicken stock just to be safe. And the baking powder, once the tamales steam, is going to make the dough kind of puff a little bit and make it really nice and light and airy. More. Now, as far as fillings go, I made 2 different types of fillings. So the first filling here is pork shoulder that I actually pressure cooked in my Instant Pot. It was my first time using my Instant Pot, and I thought this would be like a really good opportunity to check it out and try it out. And it came out really, really nice. I'm actually really happy with the final product. And then I also made some refried beans because I wanted a vegetarian option for my tamales. And then I also have some queso fresco, which is a traditional Mexican crumbling cheese. It is absolutely delicious and it's really mild in flavor, so I thought it would be a really nice addition. And then another thing I should have mentioned is I actually made a Salsa Roja, which is a red sauce made of roasted tomatoes, rehydrated ancho chilies, onions, garlic, to make a really nice red, deep, rich sauce, which is very spicy. So I'm super excited about that, and that is the sauce that I'm going to be using with my pork. So I think this feels pretty good. I'm gonna stop here as far as adding chicken stock. So the first step we need to do is take our first corn husk. And I'm actually gonna get a towel so that I can dry these off. So these have been soaking now for probably about an hour and a half. No, probably even longer than that. Probably like 2 hours. So they're softened. They probably could honestly soak a little bit more. But it's all good. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of our masa. And we are going to spread it very nice and thin on our corn husk here. And we're going to be folding the bottom up when we make them, so you don't want to go too far down. You want it to be toward the wider end of the corn husk. And you're just kind of making a square with the masa, like that. And remember, we're going to be folding in the sides, so you don't need to go too far to the edge. Just enough of the masa to hold in the fillings. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to use my tongs. I'm going to take a little bit of pork, and you don't need a lot of filling in these. And I'm going to place it right in the middle of my masa. I'm going to take a little bit of queso fresco, put that right on top of my pork. Now this is the fun part. So you're going to be folding the masa onto itself. So you're going to be kind of using the corn husk as a little guide to fold one side of the masa over and then the other side of the masa over. So you have a tamale. So I'm going to actually move the camera so it's nice and close so you can kind of see what exactly I was doing. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold the corn husk over, and you're going to fold the bottom up, And you need to tie these. So I actually have some smaller corn husks that I thought would be a little too tiny for tamales. So I'm actually gonna cut them into strips and use them as a tie to tie my tamales. So you're gonna wrap it around so you make sure you get that tail. And you're gonna wrap it just like this and tie it so it stays closed. And you have a tamale. So let's make some more. Alrighty, so let's make some more tamales. So I have a corn husk. Now you can buy a lot of these ingredients like the corn husks and the masa. Sometimes at a regular supermarket, I've seen most regular supermarkets tend to have the masa, but the corn husks can sometimes be a little bit more difficult to find. I have seen them in Stop and Shop. I'm not sure if ShopRite carries them. I haven't seen them there. But I have seen them, or I actually got these in Compare Foods in Patchogue, so it kind of just depends. I'm sure you could also buy them online too. So we're gonna take our corn husk. I'm gonna take a little bit of my masa and spread it nice and flat on my corn husk. You wanna make sure it's a really nice thin layer so you get as many tamales as you can out of the dough. Make sure that you don't go too far down because you're going to be pulling this kind of little tail up. Alrighty. So you're going to see all the corn husks are kind of different sizes. You're going to end up with big tamales, little tamales, but they're all the same. Alrighty, so I have that in a nice kind of flat thin layer onto my corn husk. So next I'm going to take some of my pork filling. I actually have 2 pots on the stove, which I'll show you in a few minutes how we're going to steam them, and I'm going to do 1 pot with the pork and 1 pot with the beans so that I know which is which. I have my queso fresco right on top. And then I'm going to carefully fold over one side of the masa onto the filling. And then I'm going to use my other side of the corn husk to fold over my other side of the masa. So you have just a little tamale in the middle, just like that. And then you're gonna fold over one side of the corn husk and then the other side of the corn husk and fold up that bottom piece. So you have a nice little package here. And then you need to tie the package with a cut piece of corn husk. Oh, let me see, I need a longer one. This, and then I'm gonna place that on a tray and just keep making them. Hey guys, so I have my filled tamales. I have a large pot with a steam basket in the bottom, and I have about 2 inches of water. So I'm going to steam these for about 60 to 75 minutes. I kind of tried to arrange them so that they would fit in the pot, just because I have to get the lid on the pot. And I'm actually going to make another pot of tamales too, but this is my first batch. So I'm actually going to take a dish towel, the dish towel I was using before, and just kind of place that on top of them. It's going to hold all the steam in and help them to cook evenly, just like that. And then I'm going to put the lid on, and it's going to be on about a medium heat for, again, about 60 to 75 minutes. And I'm going to check on them occasionally just to make sure that there is enough water in the bottom of the pot, because you don't want to scorch the bottom of the pot. This pot I have, of course, is not really tall enough, but it is going to do the job. Hey guys, welcome back. So I have our finished tamales. I'm so excited. So I'm going to show you how we are going to plate it up. So they cooked for about 60 minutes. They steamed on a medium heat. And you can kind of tell because when they're done, because the dough will be set or cooked through. So I am going to slide that off. Now it looks really pretty if you serve it with the husk. Obviously the husk is not edible, you don't eat the husk, it's just kind of like a little package, but it looks really pretty if the husk is part of kind of like the presentation. So this is actually very, very big husk. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up 2 tamales and let's see, and plate them together on this one husk. So I am going to, there we go, open this up. And I'm gonna plop this little guy here. Oh, they look so good, I'm so excited. So I am going to serve these with the salsa roja that is in the pork filling, but you could serve these kind of like whatever toppings that you want. If you made a salsa verde, which would be a green sauce made with tomatillos, that would be delicious also, or a fresh pico de gallo, some avocado slices or something like that. All of that would be really delicious. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the salsa roja that I heated up and put it over the top. Oh, they look so good. I'm so excited and I'm starving. And then I'm going to take some more queso fresco because you can't have enough cheese, and crumble that over the top. My goodness, so beautiful. And then some fresh cilantro that I minced. And there you go. You have absolutely beautiful tamales to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So let me give you a nice little close-up. They came out so good. I am so excited to eat these. They are so beautiful. And the colors of Mexico, the red sauce, the white cheese, and the green cilantro. So if you have any questions about this recipe, how to cook them, how to find the ingredients, anything at all, please comment down below and I will assist you in any way that I can. And I'm going to leave all of the different recipes in the description and some other links about the history of tamales, etc. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo in a very festive way, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching.